Alrighty. Well, first episode of the Fashion Hive podcast here at Union Station. We are in the spring, summer season of 2023, launching a brand new podcast. It's Kansas City Fashion Week production, but it's going to be called Fashion Hive. And with Fashion Hive, we're going to talk about a lot of things, and we'll go over that here in a second. But let's go ahead and introduce almost all of our team. We have a couple of other individuals that aren't with us on the couch this afternoon. But here we are. You can hear the background. We got runway rehearsals going on, but that's part of it. So here we go.
That's Fashion Week in a nutshell.
Yes, my name is Santos Arellano. I'm the Director of Outreach and the Special Strategic Partnership Coordinator. I mess that title up every single time. And everything that we do here, we have our own staff roles, but everything kind of gets blended together. So we'll just keep on moving along.
My name is Eleni Pelham, and I am an administrative intern, and this is my third season with Fashion Week.
I am Shaley Harper, and I am a social media intern, and I've been around a while, doing a little bit here and there, but I'm glad to still be around.
I'm Callie Cashero. I'm also an administrative intern, and I just kind of bounce around and help out wherever they need me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great introductions. Huge shout out to you guys. A huge shout out to Angelica Deshawn, who is also a member of our podcast team, although she is the hair and makeup coordinator. So behind all of the noise in the background is
she's getting stuff done back there.
Yeah, is getting everyone squared away for the runway tonight. We also have a wonderful producer, Skylar, and I'd like to shout her out. She does great work for us, and so we're thankful for. I'm thankful for you guys. This is a plan that I sat down with you guys, several of you guys, and brought up this idea. Sat down with Phil and Tisha, and they loved the idea of going into this podcast, creating a podcast, one about Kansas City Fashion Week, but two to kind of break down some of the stereotypes of fashion, what fashion is, and what we really do. A lot of people think that we show up when they show up, or an hour before we show up, and that's all there is. And that's not how it goes. I think a lot of us on this podcast want to disprove the whole Devil Wears Prada movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you guys, really want to go into.
Yeah.
So
like Santos was saying, I'm sure we've all seen that movie. It's a really iconic movie. But their Fashion Week in that movie is very cutthroat, very aggressive. Like, the models had to be super, super teeny tiny. And that's what we're hoping to avoid with this podcast, because we want to show people that you don't have to be the teeniest, tiniest size 0 to be a model. Like, that's not what KC Fashion Week is about. We accept everyone. We have people of all sizes, all races, all ethnicities, everything coming to fashion and be a model or volunteer for Kansas City Fashion Week. So that's a really cool thing to be a part of. And I know I'm very thankful to be on this team and be with you guys here.
Yeah, it's really cool to be part of such an inclusive community, and people are always so shocked by that. They're thinking that it's always super competitive and you have to fight your way to the top and fight your way to get to where you want to be, but it's not like that at all. All you have to do is just say hi and ask, and people will help you get to where you want to be.
Well, before we get too far off into this, Shaley, we were talking offset before we started recording this episode. I think you really hit the nail on the head when you said, when you were talking about Fashion Hive and what that means. So do you want to break down a little bit what Fashion Hive is? Yes, it is a title, but there's a reason why we chose those words.
We didn't just sit down and be like, random letter, it's a hive, guys.
Right. So do you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah. So a hive is, like a community of bees who are all doing what they need to do, but working together and helping each other and constantly growing and expanding as well. So I think that is a really cool way to represent our podcast, because all we want to do is, reach out to others and help grow our community and, well past the limits of Kansas City. I mean, we want to bring in designers and just guests on our podcast from anywhere and everywhere that is willing to. And that way we can learn from their experiences, and there's just so much potential and opportunity in this community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think one of the things that that speaks to that is the different ages, the different races. We have things tumbling all over the place around us. But like I said, the different ages, the different races, the different geographical locations that we come from. Columbia. I mean, we have people from designers from Wichita. We had
St.
models,
Louis.
models from Arkansas. So we have a wide range here in the Midwest of individuals. And I mean, seriously, I mean, do they not know
Do
we're
they not
recording
see us sitting here?
our introductory podcast here? It's like they don't care. I say that jokingly, of course, but the funny thing is we all started in a different place.
We did.
I always tell people you're 5 people away from knowing someone else. You could find someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone that also knows that person, and you're 5 people away from that. So with that, I mean, how did you guys get started in Kansas City Fashion Week? Let's explain that to our audience, and go from there, because these are the faces you guys are going to see. These are the faces that are going to be interviewing our models, our designers, our makeup and hairstylist, our staff members, our ambassadors. And so to have a good understanding of where you guys come from, and start on a good base, and we're going to, eventually really start to learn a lot about a lot of each other here. The audience will. So yeah, let's jump into it.
Yeah, so I first got involved with Kansas City Fashion Week for a school project, actually. So I went to JCCC and I'm majoring in fashion there, but I was in the fashion program. And for one of my classes, we needed to pick a place to do an internship. And my professor Joy was really good friends with Phil. So she was like, hey, I know a couple past students kind of did an internship with Kansas City Fashion Week. Would you be interested in that? And I was like, I mean, seems kind of scary and very intimidating, but why not? So she reached out to Joy. So Joy reached out to Phil and Tisha for me, and she was like, hey, I have this intern who would love to work with you guys. They got back really fast, and they were like, we always need the help, bring it on, basically. And yeah, from there it's history. But it was a little intimidating, not gonna lie, because when I first met them all, Eli, one of our photographers, was the first person I met. And when I walked into the storefront in Oak Park Mall, I was like, oh, this isn't bad. Eli's super sweet. He pulls me around the corner, and all of them are sitting there. Aspen, Phil, Tisha, everyone. And they're like, oh my God, hi. I was like, hi. They all seem so big, so important to me. I was like, literally the CEO and president of a huge company is right next to me. But it was so nice. This community is so welcoming. The staff is amazing. And we just have a lot of fun with it. And now here I am working my 3rd season. I'm best friends with all of you guys now. It's so crazy how full circle moment this can be.
I never thought I'd be sharing food with people.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to Harvey's and ordering $15 breakfasts and
And I gave Eleni my meatball earlier.
Right, exactly.
I gave Shaley my biscuits and gravy today.
Yes, that was amazing.
Eleni and I ate all of Santos's yesterday. Yeah. We love each other here.
I was still hungry.
Whoops.
My start's a little different. So I'm a junior in college now, but my first Kansas City Fashion Week encounter, I was in 8th grade and auditioning to be a model. And it's really funny because during my audition, I was chewing gum. And it was my first time. I just had no idea what I was doing. I was so nervous. And then Lane pulls me aside and she gives me a couple tips and pointers and lets me do my audition again. And I mean, that made all the difference for me because I got to walk in my first runway show when I was 14. And then I kept auditioning. I kept coming back because I had such a great experience and, throughout high school and everything. And then once I was in college, a sophomore, I decided to volunteer for the first time and, wanted to get some more professional experience in the fashion industry. So I volunteered that season and I volunteered the next season. And after that second season as a volunteer, I was like, I need something more. So I got in contact with Phil and I was like, hey, I really want to be on this team. I want to be an intern. I want to help out more. So here I am, and I'm so happy to be here.
My story is actually, I would say, completely different than any of these stories. I am a senior in high school right now, and my story started only a little over a year ago. And I am friends with Santos, and we were friends long before. And he had a connection with Phil, the CEO, and ended up being able to get me in contact with him. And honestly, going into this meeting, I was petrified. I had no clue what was going on. We had gone out for breakfast. I thought we were going to be late to this meeting. And I expected this meeting to be maybe 15 minutes long.
So did your
And-
mom too.
Yeah, my mom was sitting out in the car waiting
like,
in
"Eleni,
her
come on."
convertible,
Reading a
top
Kindle.
down reading. And we walk into this meeting and we walk out an hour and a half later after we had gotten the full rundown of every single bit of the history of Kansas City Fashion Week, what it's all about. And it was just really all exciting for me. Honestly, even at this point, I was all in, but I didn't really know what I was all in for. I did not know what was going to happen. I was just, I'm here for it. I'm along for the ride.
There you go.
They had never had a high school intern before me, so that was a little intimidating as well. Because the first day I go in, Phil's telling me, he's like, you're going to be directing around the volunteers, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. And I was like, Phil, I'm in high school. All of these people are college people wanting to go for fashion, wanting to do whatever. And he was like, you're going to be directing them. And I was like, cool, okay. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just kind of jumped right in, started going, and I've loved it ever since. It's just really honestly been one of the best things for me.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, I mean, all of your stories, and it's funny. I met Phil through my work, and made an excellent connection, and we just kind of kept talking and talking and talking, and then I don't know even how Eleni and I started talking about it, and that's when I made the connection with, connected her and Phil, and then from there it was like Phil was texting me and Bailey was texting me and Eleni's like, hey, what do you think about this or what do you think about that? And I quickly went from just making a connection to like, hey, by the way, you're going to show up for this. You're going to show up for this show, and you're going to go do this. And then the next season, because this is also my third season on, the next season I'm on staff, have my own badge. Who knew?
That is such like, people don't understand how much of rewarding experience that is.
Yes.
When they like
Yeah.
walk up to you for the first time, it's like in the movies where it's like, ah,
Right.
where it's literally they just hand you the silver badge. You're like, I made it.
Right.
No, it's so
Yes.
rewarding. And
Yes.
I remember last season, Santos and I both, our badges were coming in late, and they didn't come in until Saturday, the
The
end of
last
the week.
day.
So I don't know about you, but for me, like that was my first season as an intern.
Yeah.
And so most people still did not know who I was yet, and people kept side-eyeing me, being like, "Are you
Side-eye.
supposed to be?
Side-eye.
Are you supposed to be in this section?" Like, and I'm like, "I'm an intern, I promise. Like,
Yeah.
I
I'm
promise you're
allowed
supposed
to
to
be
be
here."
here.
Well, and the funny thing was, you had taken over the TikTok for a little bit, or you were producing some content for the TikTok, and doing some work with that, and people were like, I don't think you should be touching that, or you shouldn't be back here.
Yeah.
And I
They're like,
remember
"Don't
that.
touch
So
the
yes,
merch."
you're like, I have a badge. It's not here, but like,
Yeah.
here's my invisible badge. It's right here. Or you're like, go get Phil, and then like, no one can ever find Phil. Like, I don't know where Phil
I don't
is.
Phil?
know.
Where's
Where's
Phil?
Phil is the trending like
Hashtag
on the
where's Phil?
hashtag where's Phil. He's where's Waldo actually. That's what
Right.
that's what it started by. No one can find Phil.
Look
ever.
for the suit jacket. We're like, oh, is
Wait,
that a suit jacket?
Phil?
Yeah, okay, that's a suit jacket. That might be
That
Phil.
was one of the other things that always intimidated me, is because I
Yes.
only ever met with Phil before actually starting Fashion Week.
Mhm.
And so I came into this expecting that I had to be all kinds of dressed up, because every single
Yeah.
time you see Phil, he's in a suit.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen him in anything other than a suit. And so I came into
No.
this all dressed up, and I walk in and everyone's in sweatpants and a sweatshirt. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's really good.
I did that too because you don't know what to expect when they're like, hey, come to the storefront, meet me for the first time. Because I did that too. I was like dressed up, like all nice and fancy. I was like, I feel like I'm going to like a job interview. Like, what is this?
Yes.
And then I walk in, and that's also another thing to mention is I got my ID like picture headshot done 5 minutes into meeting everyone. I walk in, and then Eli's like, hey, Phil's like, hey, Callie, go get your picture. And then Eli came to my rescue. God bless him. He was like, are you sure, Phil? Like, she kind of just met everyone. And he's like, no, you'll be all right. So that is still my favorite stories. I just walked in and I was like, hi. And then they're like, smile. And I was like, okay, well, I hope this like goes somewhere. This is a little awkward.
The rest was
Yeah.
history.
The rest was history.
And now we're on our wonderful green couch.
Our
green
I
couch.
love this green couch.
Shout out to
couch.
Tisha
Shout out Tisha.
and Facebook Marketplace. Really, I mean,
That's
Facebook
true.
Marketplace is the way to go. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, well, when we were looking for couches and everything, Eleni was like sending me Facebook Marketplace ads, and I kid you not, she sent me a hand, like it was like a full on hand
Oh,
that
it
was
was like
turned
hand
into a
chairs?
chair.
We're like,
so
Yes.
cool. Could you imagine? I'm just sitting here filming a podcast and I'm sitting in a hand.
Yeah,
Like that's
but like the
needed.
finger was broken off. I was like,
That's
oh,
not
like
the point.
it's like
That's actually, if you want to
the
lean back,
four-finger
you just
chair.
lean through it.
When I was younger, I had a chair that was shaped like a high heel.
okay.
We
Oh my
need
God,
one
I
of
want
those.
one of those.
That's what we
I
need.
literally want one
We
of
need
those.
a high heel
There's
chair.
Is
still
this
a
gonna be
thing.
my chair? Like then I can just like
Yeah.
Yes.
you guys are sitting there and I'll just be like lean back.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yes,
Like those
absolutely.
baseball glove chairs, like the giant baseball glove chairs.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I think we need a race car bed.
Oh.
All right, guys, keep tuning into the podcast. We can afford these.
I always wanted one of those like rainbow play sets. Like, did you guys ever see
I
those?
had one.
Oh well, lucky you.
What?
Yes, like that was like my thing. Like you guys are all talking chairs, and I'm thinking like, I still don't have my rainbow play set. Like I
What
still want that.
rainbow play
Ladies,
set?
should we chip in for his birthday?
Oh my
Get him
god!
a rainbow?
Well,
Oh,
you
yes.
guys have
Nah.
like 7 months. You're fine.
We'll make the money
Well,
back.
we'll discuss the rainbow play set
Eh,
off
put
of
it
off
on
of the
pause.
recording.
okay, okay.
But go check them out if you have kids, because like your kid probably wants one. At Tisha, well, Tisha and Lane, go check it out. You would be the savior of your child's life if you get one of
Oh
those.
my gosh.
Anyways,
Back to fashion.
we're
for
not
our
sponsored by
fashion
Rainbow
podcast.
either. Yes. Okay, so on the green couch though, we're going to be talking
Yes.
about a lot of things, right? And I think that's what like I'm super excited about. Like I said earlier, we're going to have models, we're going to have designers, we're going to have anyone in the fashion realm. I'm super excited. We're going to get to sit down with Elliot Carlisle and have a conversation with him. Cassandra Diggs is
Yes.
another one. CFDA Connects. Huge shout out to them. They're one of our partners. And for that reason, they're a big reason why Fashion Hive is here, because the connection that they have with Elliot and Cassandra, and we'll dive deeper into that, like I said, when we sit down with Elliot. But those are the conversations we're going to have that, for a lot of our audience, unless you show up here and unless you're, staff or helping on a frequent basis, I mean, half the time the designers are here, unless you're modeling, you don't have an opportunity to sit down and chat with them.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited. We have some wonderful young designers, super experienced designers all over the place. Super excited. Hope we can get Elsie Marie on the podcast.
Yes, fan favorite.
Yes, fan favorite for sure. But there's going to be a lot of people that we're going to want to get on. And with that, if there's ever questions or designers or anyone that you want to see on, we highly encourage you reach out to us. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Skylar is working on the TikTok, I believe, as we
Our producer's in action.
yes, producer in action. But yeah, we'll have a TikTok up as well. All of that will be linked in our descriptions from here on moving forward. But we want to make connections for you guys. We want to make connections. We want you to be able to listen to designer, whoever we interview, our guest, and learn something from them. And hopefully, next time you see them out in public, you can say, "Hey, I listened to you on the Fashion Hive podcast." And we're going to be traveling a lot too. We hope to be traveling the Midwest, hitting Kansas and Missouri really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's things that we're super excited for. What's something that you guys? I'm going on and on and on about the things like the Santos is excited for, but like, what are some of the things that like you guys are looking forward to? Because this is a team, and we're gonna be working on this a lot of times. So
Honestly, for me, I am most excited to be able to travel with the podcast. I'm really excited to go to different small businesses and really be able to promote them, see their stories, and really just deep dive into how they got started and where they are now and where they're planning on going. That's what I'm most excited for.
Yeah, there's so much to learn from all of these people. Every single person here has something to teach you.
Definitely.
And that is definitely one of my favorite parts is even just to the point that we're at now. Like, I've gotten to meet so many cool, incredible people, and that's only going to multiply as we go on. And I'm so excited for all of the cool, interesting, talented, experienced people that we're going to meet and talk to, because we want to learn their stories and we want to share their stories with the world, which is our whole mission here that we're working towards. So that's just really exciting to me.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I honestly, just going off of that really quick, I honestly think even if you're not a huge fashion person, it'll just be interesting to listen in, because like these people, yes, they will likely have some sort of connection with the fashion industry, but they will have connections with so many other places. Some of these small businesses, you can just learn about how their business got started, not even necessarily the fashion part behind it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm just more excited just to like get in touch with people and have like a way for people to connect, like just one spot really that they can get a lot of information, meet a bunch of people, like hopefully find volunteer opportunities, find ways to get involved. Like we'll explain a lot. We'll have a lot of designers on here that will like help people get more involved in the fashion industry. Because I know personally, I was one of them that saw movies growing up like Devil Wears Prada and like shows like Ugly Betty, like working at magazine companies, which is what I want to do someday. Like how kind of that is structured, because obviously like magic in the movies, it's probably not real, and I knew that, but like you never really know until you're actually invested and actually like involved in the like back work of it, because there's a lot that goes into these shows that a lot of people don't see, because like you said earlier, some people see us during the show, like an hour before the show, they're like, oh, they just got here too. No, we dedicate weeks and weeks and hours of our time putting on this show for you. So I'm just excited to be able to like share that and like meet a bunch of people, like you guys said, just kind of like expand our stories and like reach out to others and learn more about other people's backgrounds and coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, and I think, and we'll hear this. I mean,
Yeah.
and Phil is an excellent example of this. He was sitting down and talking to middle schoolers and high schoolers who Julie was able to recruit to come and help us set up and continue. Really, the continuance of production is what a lot of these ambassadors are.
Yeah.
But to sit down and talk to the ambassadors and say, this is what we're doing. And really, I tell the ambassadors, and for people that don't know, ambassadors is our volunteers, but they're more than volunteers. They go out into the community. They're the ones sharing posts. I mean, they truly are a brand ambassador for Kansas City Fashion Week. Yes, they may move chairs. Yes, they may put tags, but they really are. They are ambassadors for the brand, and that's the connection of if you can attend Kansas City Fashion Week.
Mm-hmm.
Come buy tickets, come volunteer, come to model tryouts. I think that's, I had someone reach out to me who I guess didn't ever know that I was affiliated with Kansas City Fashion Week, who reached out to me this season and was like, does Kansas City Fashion Week take plus or size models? And I was like,
everyone.
absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Literally everyone. No, love that for us.
Yeah, way to go. But
I
yes,
really
no,
try to turn it away.
we do. I mean, we take everyone, and I think it speaks to the fact of, again, the community. There is no right ideal person,
Yeah.
or right ideal cult ideology.
Yeah.
Because we see it with designers. I mean, you'll see designers who have the sparkly, grab attention, and then we'll see designers who it's just pure white bridal dresses.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you guys on the journey will get to hear their inspiration. We'll get to hear why they do what they do, and I think that's important, because yes, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and so is an outfit, really.
For sure. Yeah.
But I think being able to hear the story is going to be awesome as well.
Yeah. And that's also too like what I'm excited for in this podcast is we just want to let you know there's a lot of more opportunities than just being a model. Like Shaley's been dabbling into some modeling too. Eleni is too. I'm gonna get into it soon because people won't leave
Not
me
trying
alone.
to be.
But that's the thing, is you don't have to be a model to be involved in Kansas City Fashion Week. You don't have to be a designer to be featured in the show. Like Santos was saying, the ambassadors help out a lot. You can work for the magazine. You can work for the social media only. You can work like literally just come to the shows and just be like volunteer for a little bit. You don't have to stay the whole show. Like there's many different opportunities to get involved. You can go on the brand trips, go on the cruises.
Yep.
Right.
Like there's so many ways to reach out and get involved if you're not a model, if you're not a designer.
Right. And like each of us got involved in a different way.
Exactly.
But the one thing in common is that we never left.
Yeah.
Like once you get
Good point.
involved, like you don't want to leave. You've made so many friends and connections just on your first day as a volunteer or your first day as a model, and then you want to go and support them again. You want to support your friends that are modeling again the next night. You want to see the designers that you've walked for in the past.
For sure.
You want to just say hi to all the faces that you know. Like it's impossible to leave this environment.
It's like a family. It's like just a warm hug being here.
Exactly.
And it makes me so sad, like when the shows end on Saturday nights. Like Saturday is my favorite and least favorite night all in one, because it's so good. It's the best show. But then it makes me so sad, like after the show ends, I'm like, I'm not going to see everyone tomorrow. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's empowering to know, like you said, I absolutely love how you said that. We never left.
Yeah.
We never left. And it's the same way with ambassadors. We have ambassadors who have been helping longer, like twice
Since
as long
before COVID.
than I've been here.
Yeah.
Than I've been here. But let's speak to it. 3 seasons, that's only a year, right? You have this, a year ago is when I first and Eleni first came on, and I
Same.
think,
Yeah.
so kind of for all of us on staff, that we came on, but that's only a year. And to think, here you are being featured in the Kansas City Fashion Week magazine. You've gone on the Kansas City Fashion Week adventures. You've been pulled into model, and you model, but not trying to downplay that. You signed up for
And
it.
I had a article in the magazine last season.
Okay, so I mean,
Awesome.
less than a year in, you had an article in there. For someone who's never modeled before, they
gosh.
pulled you into it willingly, and then today we're sitting here trying to roadmap, like, what are we going to do for this podcast? And in the middle of our meeting, they come up and they say, "Hey, Eleni, hey, Shaley, can you guys come over here real quick?" And Callie and I are just looking at each other like, well, guess we're not recording today because they're going to go back and get some hair and makeup done. But seriously, I mean, it's each day is completely different. And that's it. Some people will come in and they're like, well, didn't you just have a fashion show last night? It's different designers every night. And even if the designers are the same, like, you could probably have a designer who has 20 different looks, and each looks completely different too. So there's a lot of variance. There's a lot of ways to join us.
For sure.
And we would love for you guys to join us. I mean, you guys said it better than I did. You never leave. It's the cultivating, empowering environment. And we're here for it. And we hope that you come enjoy it with us. And with that said, I think we can kind of put a cap on this, unless there's anything else anyone wants to add.
We just encourage you, get involved. Sorry, Shaley.
No,
get involved and just reach out. Let us know.
And those who aren't local, if you can't get involved, that's what we're here for.
Yes.
We're here to bring the community to you and to help our audience. We really want to help bring fashion to our audience. And I think it would be a fun idea if on our Instagram at Fashion Hive Podcast, you can DM us questions or for fashion advice, and we could answer questions on our podcast.
Absolutely, yeah. Q&As is definitely something that we'd love to do. Like I said, if there's ever any questions or people that you think we should have on, DM us, send us a message. We would love to, if you want to be on the podcast, there's a link in our bio. There's a link on our Facebook. Sign up. We would love to have you. If you have an opinion on fashion, let's hear it. And I think that's awesome too. One thing before we all go, I think that we all want to incorporate is, we are Fashion Hive, and we want to see what's buzzing around the Kansas City fashion realm.
Oh, that was bad.
So let's just go down the line. We'll start with Eleni and go down the line and hear everyone's best bzz.
Oh, she got the movement going.
Oh.
Maybe right now I've stolen that for someone.
Okay. Bzzz.
No pressure, jeez.
Are you done? Okay.
No,
I can't steal Eleni's now. Like, I can't just like move it around.
You
So,
gotta come up with your own. Make it go faster.
That was like an airplane.
That was like an
buzz.
airplane.
Oh, my bad.
I
Southwest
I
coming
thought
in.
there was a bee in
No,
my
that's
ear.
spirit.
That was
No, that's
good.
spirit coming in.
That was spirit.
That is
Yeah.
spirit.
Well, okay. Well, thank you for joining us for our first episode.
Yeah.
Like I said, we want to be a connection point for you guys. So with that being said, how can we connect with you guys? How can we, social media handles, where can they follow you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Shaley Harper. That is SHALEY.
My name, or I guess my handle is Callie Cashero. So it's CALLIE and then CASHERO. And Instagram, I would say, is the best way to reach me. I do have a TikTok. It's not very Fashion Week oriented, but if you want to like get to know me better and hang out with me and my friends, then go check that out. But my Instagram is mainly all Fashion Week posts.
My Instagram is Eleni Pelham, and that's ELENIPELHAM.
So there you have it. Go follow all of them on Instagram.
Wait, sir. What about you?
I'm getting there. I'm wrapping up. I'm putting the bow on the top for a second, okay? Follow all of them on Instagram, maybe TikTok, because there was a couple shameless plugs there. They secretly want the followers. That's why they
They
brought
want
it
the
up.
clout.
That's why they brought it
Yeah,
up.
that's for sure why we
Um,
love them.
But yeah, follow them there. These are excellent resources. Individuals who have jumped right in and never have looked back. There's your perfect example, and a perfect example of starting from the bottom and working your way up.
Yeah.
And that's awesome too. For Kansas City Fashion Week, for more information on that, go to kcfashionweek.com. That's where you will find all of our designer applications, model applications. Model openings or model applications and castings are next month, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, we'd love to have you as an ambassador, photographer, as a vendor. Sign up if any of those apply to you. If not, reach out to any of us. And my Instagram is Reverend_Santz, Reverend, common spelling, _SANTZ. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning
Hold
in.
on.
Oh.
Yeah, wait.
Also, if any of you guys have a story
Yes.
that you want to share, we do have ways to apply to be on the podcast. So if you have a story and you want to share it, feel free.
Yes, absolutely. Reach out to us, and we'd love to have you on. It's going to be
Yeah.
an open couch. We're gonna take people from all over. We're gonna probably have to Zoom, do
Yeah.
Zoom meetings or do Zoom podcasts with individuals because Eleni and I met someone
Yeah.
from Mexico who we want to have on the podcast. So I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, we'd love to meet you, get coffee with you, just learn your story, and you can learn ours, and
go from there.
Get involved.
So yes, thank you all for tuning in, and we will catch you
Next
soon.
time.
Next time. All right.
Adios.